Hello again, friends. In this episode, we are going to take a look as to why the Seventh-day Adventists generally don't celebrate the date of October 22nd every year. This is, after all, the very date of the foundational event that launched the Seventh-day Adventist denomination. October 22nd, 1844 is the date that Christ supposedly entered the innermost holy place in the heavenly realm and began his investigative judgment of the true believers in Christ. So given that in this present year of 2024, it has now been exactly 180 years since this very foundational event, one would think that the Adventists might be a little more enthusiastic and proud of their origins. However, this is not the case, and we might ask why. Obviously, it doesn't sound quite right to say, Happy Investigative Judgment Day. We all know that the thought of being judged is generally not a reason to celebrate. In addition to this, what is even more depressing to think about is that October 22nd, 1844, also marks the date of the Great Disappointment, where many thousands of people were left bewildered and confused as to why their calculations of Christ's return failed to materialize. These people had staked their very existence upon this date, with many selling their property and giving away all of their possessions and goods. Not only were they left penniless, but they also had a great deal of mud on their face after spending the last several years telling others of the assuredness of their predictions. Many Millerites went so far as to accuse other Christians of being in Babylon, simply for not believing in the Millerite message of Christ's return in the fall of 1844. Many of these followers of William Miller had either left their churches or been kicked out of them by church leadership for their open promotion of what turned out to be a failed date-setting prediction. To say that the Millerites were greatly disappointed may be an understatement. Accounts of severe mental illness and even of suicide followed in the wake of their failed prophecy. So for an Adventist to consider the concept of a happy Great Disappointment Day is simply unthinkable. But this lack of celebration is also very revealing. Unlike many discoveries that are actually true and deserve celebration, this apparent accidental discovery of Jesus' supposedly new role in the atonement, where he now judges his people in a way he didn't before, is simply not the kind of event that most people are truly thankful for and wish to celebrate. Thus, the date of the most important doctrine in all of Seventh-day Adventism is merely ignored, which is quite telling in and of itself. This neglect of celebration speaks volumes as to the very validity of this doctrine to begin with. In general, truth is always a cause for celebration, but this is not so within the case of the investigative judgment. Perhaps many Seventh-day Adventists readily know that having new knowledge of a supposed second phase of atonement does little to improve their daily walk with Christ in their everyday lives. And it may, in fact, do just the opposite. Therefore, it is no small wonder that Adventism gives no fanfare to such a supposedly important date. This should tell us something is terribly amiss with this doctrine,